Welcome to Unpacked with the Pack Scout. Today's conversation is about matching needs. What you normally see in the packaging industry amongst the larger producers is that the major suppliers provide the big brands, the big retailers with their packaging. The medium brands are usually supported by slightly smaller suppliers, and then the very small suppliers are looking after the startups and the SMEs. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people in the top tier with the high volume packaging messing around with the incoming and the startup companies. Now, what happens when you follow this model is that it misses variation in market growth, because instead of following the opportunities in the business and having a mitigated risk approach, all the eggs are in one basket, basically, where you might have 4 or 5 massive accounts responsible for 80% of your capacity. If one of those goes, suddenly 10, 15, 20% of your capacity walks out the door. There's an incredibly large amount of volume to have to make up kind of on the fly. What makes more sense is to have a balanced view of the sales prospects funnel, where you consider the fact that today's startup could be tomorrow's Apple. Especially in these digital days, the speed with which unicorns are being created and valued at $1 billion plus is increasing. So some examples. Brewdog in the UK started very small, it's now massive, and almost all their business goes to their original supplier. Innocent Drinks is very much the same. They started small, they're now an enormous company and working with Coca-Cola, and they still use the same suppliers they've had from the very beginning. So everybody starts small, they dream big. Nobody gets up into work with a startup to have a small company. They think they are working on the next big thing. They want it to succeed, to thrive, to grow. So if you are working with those companies, they also want to expand. They also want to grow. They also want to be profitable. If you help them to realize their growth and develop their brand, these companies have an opportunity to see growth for the future. And in fact, it's a lower risk opportunity, because what you're doing is you may be sprinkling seeds with 50 or 60 smaller companies. And yes, some of them may not succeed, but all it takes is 1 or 2 or 3 of those to succeed. And all it takes is one of those ones that succeeds to be really successful. And suddenly you've replaced that 10 or 20% that you lost a moment ago. But you have a much more sustainable way of being able to generate business for years to come. So when it comes to what could we do better, think to yourself, why is the separation of end markets? A lot of companies, for some reason, will focus on food or beverage or tobacco or cosmetics, something like that. There doesn't need to be a need for that. The focus should always be on what's the best material to solve this packaging problem. And that is something that can be very easily cross-fertilized. So if you don't have those silos, if you create an open conversation in your own company, which allows the people who look after tobacco packaging to talk to pharmaceutical, or talk to toys, or talk to food, or talk to beverage, there's an opportunity for the best-in-class packaging to be recommended to each customer. How is production being maximized? Are you making sure that you are able to produce enough packaging to satisfy all of the needs that are being made on your company? With some of these smaller companies, there's an opportunity for you to be able to close off some of the production runs. If you look at where the material in question, here we talk about corrugated and board, but that was due to the customer that was being discussed. It could be metal, it could be glass, it could be plastic. Show where it's the sustainable choice. Show where you're able to help them make a packaging decision that will help enhance their company. Focusing on SMEs and startups, because these are companies that normally have a very good idea about the market that they're working in, but will be less likely to have the packaging expertise that would help them to thrive. So if you provide that to them, if you use your expertise as a packaging manufacturer to help them scale their business, they will be forever indebted to you because you have helped them to achieve the growth that they believe that they can achieve. Satisfy the consumer need without compromising manufacturing excellence. So a lot of the time there is a judgment call that has to be made where, in order to make a product that is fit for purpose and provides the best performance and characteristics and quality, what we need to be able to do is to manufacture the best possible product that then addresses the quality and needs of that package, as well as satisfying consumer needs in terms of areas like sustainability or carbon reduction as well. Never ever overpromise to anybody, because if you do that, you lose credibility. And always ensure that sustainability is understandable to the consumers in their understanding and in their mind, because you have to make sure that a sustainability message is something that is sustainable to the person you are talking to, the consumer. Because if I see something that tells me about how a product has saved thousands of tons in packaging materials, that's great. That company saved many millions of pounds in savings. But what about me? I'm the consumer. The product's still the same price. It's probably still the same quality. Nothing's changed about the product. So I don't see the benefit that they're trying to tell me that is materialized with that product. So sustainability needs to be something that the person who is consuming the product understands that sustainability benefit to them. Oh, I can easily recycle this, or oh, this composts, or oh, this is a reduced amount of waste that I'm creating. Something that I know supports my needs as a consumer. Now, I'm going to continue to do these little posts from day to day, so I hope this has been helpful. I hope this has given you something to think about. Any questions, I always welcome them. Thank you.